Hello and welcome back to Speed Model. Now, I know this project is meant to be a modeling and animation project, but we've only done modeling up to this point. Now, unfortunately, that's going to be the case even for today's episode, but I can promise you that's the last of the lot. Once we're done with the modeling today, next episode we'll be able to jump into the animation aspect. As promised last week, we will be setting up hair for the character as well as an environment for the character to be in. So yeah, these are more of the sort of miscellaneous stuff to, just give things a bit more of a stylistic look. But this is, like I said, the last of it, and soon we'll be able to move on to animation, which is of course the interesting part. Incidentally, I've decided this series to run 6 episodes, so this is the second last one. Anyway, enough waffling from me, let us jump right into episode 5 of Speed Model. We begin by adding some hair to the character. I start off by selecting some faces for the hair particles to emit from, generating the particles, and then combing them down. The particle edit tool also lets me tweak the length and various other aspects of the hair, though I was having one problem. The hair seemed to leave a wide berth around the head, instead of laying flat against it. It took me a while to notice the deflect emitter setting, which was causing the problem. After reducing the value, I had a new problem. The scalp was showing through the hair, which indicates that some of the hair may have clipped through the mesh. I tried many different ways to resolve this, but my ultimate solution was to color the scalp the same color as the hair. At the same time, I lifted all the hair up a little, so that they are in fact floating slightly above the head. Neither of these are particularly good workarounds, and as you can see, I struggled to try and get them to work. After very much frustrated combing, I finally decided it was as good as I was going to get, and I let it be. You're seeing a very sped up version of this process. My footage tells me I spent 50 minutes on hair alone. We turn our attention to the next big thing, which is setting up an environment. I wanted to keep a bit of the anime feel, which is why I decided to draw in some trees in a very anime style. Incidentally, this technique I'm using here is excellent. I'll link you to the tutorial where that came from in the video description. I began adding the trunks. You can't tell this wasn't from the tutorial just by how bad it looks, but I powered through it anyway. I use a gradient and a pattern fill to make it look less terrible. Finally, I pick up my 4 tree types and lay them out in strips. We can add these as flat meshes into the scene. I roughly lay out the trees in 2 layers, and then we're all ready to bring them into the scene. I load them up as texture map planes and use a lattice to bend them into a slight curvature. I had to quickly pop back into GIMP to fix the trees at the edge, but back in Blender, I give everything one last push and we're ready to turn our attention back to the rest of the environment. I give the character a cell shading material, which emphasizes the cartoonish look. I also shift the lights around. You can see how the material interacts with the light. Then, I create a sort of complex ground plane, which elevates the trees slightly. Finally, I add some subdivision to the ground plane to give it a little bit of a curve where the terrain changes height. Then, we texture things up. I give the hills a little grassy color, while the center bit takes on a greyish color, kinda like a gravel road. Finally, we turn our attention to the sky. I try to set up a cloud texture directly on the sky, but the clouds didn't move correctly when the camera moved. Eventually, I opted for creating a giant dome over the scene, and setting up a cloud texture on the inside. This completes the scene. We have nothing left to do now but to prepare for animation. And there you have it, that is all the modeling done. Next episode, we'll look at the animation aspect of this project. And well, among other things, you'll be seeing the final result. So yeah, I hope you are excited for that. But that's all there is for this episode. Until next time, you're watching 0612 TV. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, consider checking out the rest of my work on my channel. Alternatively, you may be interested in the last season of Speed Model. If you'd like to show me some monetary support, I am on Patreon. You can find a link to my campaign in the video description. Of course, you can simply like this video or leave a comment. I'll be sure to respond as soon as I can. To keep in touch with my future uploads, do subscribe to this channel, and for even more updates, check out the official Twitter account for this channel at 0612TV. Thank you for your support.